Generally, I guess this is some advice. If you get a speeding charge, right? That's why the officer walks up to you and says, do you know why I pulled you over? Because if you say, yeah, I was speeding, you just admit it to it. Done, right? So you always have to make them tell you and say, no, officer, why did you pull me over? And then they'll tell you why. Now it's them accusing you of doing it, and you don't really agree or disagree, right? You get your ticket, and regardless of how egregious it is or how defensible it was, you should probably get a legal representation, right? And so now here's the thing, right? Like, let's say the speeding ticket's like $300. Your legal representation is going to cost like $300 usually. But now you don't have to show up to the courtroom for your hearing. Your lawyer goes there, and generally the way it works, it's kind of like unfair, but that's how life is that these companies that have the lawyers that do speeding tickets, they're not going to make you any guarantees, but they have like a relationship with the judge or, someone in the DA's office or whatever. And like, they will usually be like, hey, look, I got 5 guys today that got speeding tickets, and they're willing to pay their fine, but they don't want to admit to wrongdoing, and they don't want it to show up in their driving record. And then it's like, boom, you still have to pay the $300 and then another $300 for the lawyer, so you're paying $600, but it doesn't show up on your record, and then your insurance company won't, ding you, and because you'd pay more than that additional $300 if it showed up on your insurance, but it'd be over time, but it would be like and so then you don't get it on your record. Basically, you plea out of it. Your lawyer pleads out of it for you, and you don't do anything except just pay the money, right? I think anyone who has the ability to do that should do that, even like if you're not making like a crazy amount of money, because it showing up on your record is where like things get like dicey. Insurance rates go up for a long time, way more than $300 over however many years, and then also like then you get a second one, and then like you have a prior, and it just goes like nuts really fast. So you kind of just want to cauterize the damage if you can with a little bit of money. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No. And if it's your first time, your lawyer might even be able to keep it off your record.
Which part are you responding to?
The one where it says like most courts offer deference programs. Yeah. Like, and this is all after you've exhausted the first time you ever do it. You do the defensive driving, and it's off your record anyways, and you don't even need a lawyer, right? That doesn't even cost you extra. You pay your ticket amount, you take defensive driving, you're done. But then after that, they don't offer you defensive driving anymore. Then you do the lawyer thing. So definitely, that's very true. Do the defensive driving option first, because it's the cheaper one, and it keeps it off your record. And then after you've exhausted that, you should probably buy a radar detector. But
not that we use them or
they're legal to use in Texas.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
it's radar. It's radar scramblers that aren't legal, and I don't use those. Although I've seen them, and it's kind of crazy. It's like they point the gun at it and they shoot, and it's like, error, speed not found. That is illegal, but it's also hard to catch someone because they might have just misfired. So yeah. Definitely defensive driving first, cheaper option. And then after that, if you're still getting tickets, you get a person to represent you so that you keep it off your record. Yeah.